What's going on, tile friends? Hope you're having a great Saturday. Hope you had a great, successful, profitable week and are enjoying this weekend. So I wanted to briefly hop on here and introduce a new segment to the podcast. I will be doing a brief, podcast episode every week on mindset. And I'm thinking of calling it Mindset Mondays. And what I'll do is I'll record it live here, most likely on the weekend like today, and then I'll upload it to the podcast everywhere the podcast is heard on Mondays. And I want to talk solely about mindset. The other thing I want to talk to you today about is a new sponsor of Tile Money. So I want to thank my new sponsor. And I also want to talk briefly to some other potential sponsors that might be on the fence. So this new mindset segment that I want to record for the podcast episodes, it got me thinking recently. Chris Ford posted up a question to the group about this thing called imposter syndrome. And it's something so many of us, I struggle with it myself personally. I mean, there's been so many times where I've just wanted to give up, because I feel like an imposter. I feel like I don't know it all. But the fact of the matter is that's true for all of us. We don't know it all, and we got to keep learning. So the thing recently that's been happening is I've been struggling with some depression, some anxiety, some imposter syndrome, right? And so I told myself, I got to get myself out of this funk. I know how to do it. It's in my mind. There's nothing really physically happening in my life to justify it. So I wanted to share what I've been doing and what's really helped me in the last 2-3 weeks. And so I thought, you know what? Let's just share a quick tip on mindset and make it a regular thing. So it's going to be a weekly thing, Mindset Mondays, and maybe you can help me out. Let me know what you're doing, and I can share it inside the podcast, give you credit, of course, as well. So together we can continue to push each other for success. So today's Mindset Monday tip is sponsored by my new sponsor, which is Crossville. Crossville is an American-made. They make porcelain slabs, as well as glass and sourced stone, things of this nature. So very good company. I am super stoked that they have jumped on board and are sponsor of Tile Money. Thank you, Noah Chitty, for taking an interest in Tile Money. Thank you, Crossville, for your support. Truly appreciate it. So today's Mindset Monday tip is what I've been doing to get myself out of my funk. Recently, every morning I wake up and I do two things. The first thing I do is just one sentence 5 times, and I just repeat it. I write it down, and this is so powerful. It seems so simple, but if you're struggling to get a certain client or a certain customer, or you can just write it down 5 times. I can sell a job at a profit. I can sell a job at a profit, or whatever it is for you. I'm a magnet for money and success was Tom Reavers. I interviewed Tom in one of the podcast episodes, and he says every morning he writes, I am a magnet for money and success 5 times. And he said that's so powerful. So that is the first thing I do. The second thing I'm doing is journaling. What I do is I journal in the morning, first thing, after I do the 5 sentences. I journal about yesterday. But here's the trick. I journal only about the positive things that happened yesterday. And then at the end I say, today's going to be an awesome day. I'm going to get this accomplished. And that's it. So I do not put anything negative. Even if yesterday was a terrible day, nothing went wrong, I only journal about the 1 or 2 or 3 things that positively happened and that were positive. This has been a game changer for me. This has in a few short weeks has changed my mindset, given me, a positive energy, a positive light to share with the world, and it'll work for you as well. So do those 2 things. That's the Monday's tip. Thank you, Crossville, for being a sponsor of Tile Money. So I also wanted to talk briefly to other potential sponsors. I've been emailing about 20 of you. If you're a manufacturer and I haven't emailed you, it's not because I don't love you or anything. Just hit me up. I don't have your email address. Hit me up if you're interested in learning how to sponsor this Tile Money podcast. I thought I'd throw out a couple of good reasons that you might be interested to sponsor Tile Money. What is the value of sponsoring Tile Money, right? So the first reason would be you can have a part in changing someone's lives for the better. The second reason is it is an advertising platform for your company. So the first reason, let's talk about that a little bit. Chris Ford, again, just earlier last week, I believe, or 2 weeks ago, she posted that a year ago today, she was broke, she was in debt, she was struggling to sell herself. And she said that because of listening to the Tile Money podcast, she gave it credit that it's completely changed her life 1 year later. Now she's saving money, she's working for better customers, she believes in herself, and all this positive stuff, right? So it literally changed her life. And friends, let me tell you something. If I didn't get messages like this, almost weekly, I would have given this up a long time ago. This is not really my comfort zone. I thought it could change and help others. And the reason I thought that a podcast format and a Facebook group focused on business could change others, because it literally happened to me. I was in the same boat. I was struggling. I was, working 7 days a week. I couldn't get out of that cycle. And what helped is when I discovered podcasts and I started listening to business podcasts, right? That helped my mind. That helped my business. That changed my life. And so I thought somebody needs to do this directly to the tile community. That's why I got started, if you didn't know. And so sponsors, listen, you want to change lives, you want to have an impact on tile contractors' lives, you can sponsor the podcast. You can provide value by sharing your knowledge in here. Everybody's welcome to comment, as long as you're providing value. It's for your best interest anyways. You go in, you make an advertisement too. I don't care. Say, hey, my product is the best. Nobody's going to comment on it. Nobody's going to like it. Nobody's going to interact with it. It won't do diddly squat. The way to be social is to provide value, share some insight, help us out, help us contractors out, guys. That's all I'm asking for, is help me help others, and you too can have a part. The second part is listen, manufacturers, this is an advertising platform. I'm the only Facebook group that is sponsored. I have a weekly newsletter. I have a loyal audience with the podcast and inside this Facebook group, as well as Instagram, and they do intertwine, but they're all three very different as well. So it's up to you. That I just thought I'd mention those two valuable ways that you can, provide value inside this group, provide value for contractors, as well as getting your name out there. So that's it. I'm going to keep these nice and short and sweet. Don't let your mind get the best of you, friends. I hope you're having a great weekend. Talk to you all soon. 2020, I'm working on some big stuff. Really excited about what's coming down the pipe here in 2020. So I've got a few new sponsors I'll be announcing as the weeks roll out as well. So talk to you, friends, later. Enjoy your weekend.